All right. Am I on? Betty. All right. Happy Monday. Betty the cat just opened the doors so I can hear stuff from the outside. Unfortunately, they can hear me, I presume. But other than that, I am here. It's going to be a short stream today. I'm kind of trying to squeeze it in amongst things that I have going on. But I thought it might be fun. Well, a couple things. So, thing number one, let's call it. Thing number one is I took some of the beta stuff that we'd worked on some of these behind the screens streams, working streams for stocking prototypes, and I threw it into a document, and posted it up on both drive-through and itch. It's attached to the Joy of Hex Maps. So if you've bought or you have access to the Joy of Hex Maps, you can download. You can download these. You can download this document. It's got the hex stocking template, and I know I'm gonna have to do some work here because this template's different than the templates I have in Joy of Hex Maps. And I think what I'm probably gonna do is I'm gonna split out some of the dungeon or some of the Hex 25 templates and kind of their own thing, and then have this. And then I also have so I have the what I changed it from habitations. I think I was going back and forth. We even had a little bit of a discussion about layers versus settlements. I settled on a couple of nomenclature type stuff, basically using. Let's see, I have it here. Colonies, coverts, and cultures. Colonies I'm using for animals. Probably could think of another word, but I was kind of going on the three C's. So colonies, but it's for animals, like colonies of birds, colonies, whatever. So colonies for animals. Coverts is your layers essentially, and then cultures is for I just noticed I changed it to community and forgot. Oh, I'm gonna have to fix that. Just noticed. Thing I'm gonna fix. A community is for your settlements and so on and so forth. I just noticed I'm gonna have to fix that. That's gonna bug me until I fix it, but I'll try to keep it aside for now. So you've got those. And then the other part I added in, which is kind of what I was working on a little bit. I was away for the weekend. I was in at a family function in New England over the weekend, so I didn't really have a chance to do a whole lot. But I was kind of thinking in between stuff of this idea of sites, which would be kind of your adventuring sites. So it could represent a dungeon, it could represent any kind of special thing. And one of the things that I've looking at is trying to what's the word I'm looking for? Trying to kind of expand, right? So dungeons are obviously one type of adventuring site that represent a certain thing, and it's kind of hard to bundle all of them together because what do some of these things have in common? But just looking at any kind of special thing, it might be significant, it might be important, it might have a religious, mystical. It might have what it would say mystical importance. Might be somewhere that's ley lines come together, so it's a great place to do magic. Might be a bunch of things, and essentially using that as sort of a catch-all, and then we can try to generate them and see what we get. And I have included some tables, a couple of things. I just have a table for the type of essentially kind of thing you get here. I'm not trying to get into huge creature lists, so I've avoided for now doing like here's your creatures. Maybe I'll put a note in there, but I would assume for the creatures you can use your creature tables of choice. Maybe I'll put in something super vague, but I don't want it to be tied to a particular rule set or setting. I really want it to be pretty agnostic. I suppose I could put in one, for Shadow Dark or I suppose I could use Shadow Dark and OSE, since I'm guessing I can use those without doing anything. But I was trying to keep it agnostic. So I don't have that. But for sites, I did come up with a table with just some. What do we call this? Very some inspirational prompts, more or less. So you can roll to get a type. You can roll basically 3d6 to get a type, a domain, and a theme. And you can really, it's how you interpret these. You could think about if it's a dungeon, if it's something else. So you might look at dungeon, maybe a class type of dungeon. It's a containment. Maybe it's containing, I don't know, it's got some kind of, what, maybe it's containing something, has to do with life, and then vigilance. You could look at kind of some sort of creature is trapped, maybe the Isle you might look like, and say containment, and then vigilance, at least at some levels, and then maybe nature could be, right? These are not going to give you very highly specific results. These are going to give you very inspirational but very vague. This is, what am I drinking here? Grape Aid Spinger for the working man. Very vague, give you an idea. But I thought I could take the sample map that we've been working on, and I could try running through, because I've kind of done some, that's just, right, that's blank for right now. I kind of just, I just ran through some sort of simulation, but not really doing it in a fully functional way. So what I will do is we can use our map here, which I think its overall terrain was mountain. So mountain, I think, or was it hill? What did we say that this was? What were we rolling? Or was it barrens? What was it? What was I rolling on? What was I rolling on to fill this thing up? It was, I think I was using, no, it was woodlands. It was woodlands. Okay, so this is a woodlands hex, which would mean that we would have, for woodlands by default, its peril is 2. So we would take a d6 and then roll that and then multiply it by 2 to get the number of sites. You can adjust that. I didn't want it to be exactly the same as the other one, and I'm trying to look at, because we have these attributes that we're using. I want to use them. So this number, might need to amend this number. Let's see what I got. So I got 5 times 2, so that means I have 10 sites. So now I have 10 sites. I wish I could do kind of a sticky note kind of thing. So I have 10 sites. Let's site number 1. And I suppose let me pull in a feature, and let's go to classic, and let's see, what can I use for a generic site? A generic site might be, there we go. What could be a site icon? Okay, I'll use a star. Use a star icon, and we'll color it. It's got an outline. We'll color it we'll give it a red and yellow. No, that didn't do it. Style, no preset. Did I not hit the right thing? Oh, that's for the label? What is that for? Oh, it is for the label. Whoops. I meant for the color of the thing. Okay, it's all right. It doesn't matter. So that's pretty. Oh, I see. Override color. Oh, okay. Override color. Yeah, let's go with yellow, and we'll. No. Oh. No, I didn't want that. Add ring. How about that? Oh, I don't need it. Never mind. Never mind. Okay. We're just going to go with this. All right. So now, all right. So I have 10. The first one is in 2, 3. And we can, and of course, if we get something that's in the same hex as something else we have, then that just means that we have something interesting. We can think of some interesting relationships. So, oh yeah, I'm gonna have to convert this. So it's 1. This is 2. 1, 2, 3. So there's, all right. So we have those, but there's also that symbol on there. So there's something interesting there. We don't know what it is yet. Well, we're gonna just roll them out first. 1, 4. 1, 1, 2, 3. Oh, there's something on this camp. Shoot, I'm gonna get all right, well, we're just gonna do that. All right, maybe that makes sense. So So far, I'm totally getting things that are overlapping with other things. All right, so we'll just have to figure out. So, but I guess that maybe there's a reason why these creatures, which if we recall were some orcs, were hanging out. Now I've gotten, here we go, 5, 1, oh no, what's that, 6, 1. Oh my gosh, there's something here too. No, wait, I was doing 1, right? So it's 6, 1. Whoa, it's there. Right, 1, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, well, it's getting interesting, getting complicated here. 1, 2. I'm just rolling all low numbers. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1. What did I get? No, sorry. Oops. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There we go. All right. 3 and 1. Another thing there. For whatever reason, I'm all stacked on the top. Oh, here we go. 6 and 4. Right there. Whoops. 5, 6, 5. Right? That's 6, 5. Yeah. I think. Yes. How many did I get? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 3 more. Seems like a lot. But that's what I rolled. So I'm going to go with what I rolled. 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 2 more. Yeah, I might need to lower that number. But I did roll a high number, so I don't know. What am I going to do? 2, 1. The last one. 2, 5. 1, 2. No, wait. 1, 2, 3. So just for whatever reason, I got a lot of overlap with places I already had. So this will be interesting to see what kind of comes up. What comes up with it? What comes up? What comes out of it? All right. So now we can we got some notes here, right? So I gotta go to this now. So this was our rock nest. This was our displacer beasts. That one's new. These are our trees. Interesting how we got kind of this. Because remember, this is this, what do they call it? The Arbor Conclave. So it's kind of cool that it's kind of ringed by these special, these sort of somewhat special spots. Then we have some special spots down here. Yeah, this might be, 10 might be a lot, but we don't know what they are yet. We don't know what they are, and they don't have to be dungeons. Some of them could be. So I'm gonna roll for each one of these. I'm gonna roll, and we'll get some site types. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna roll 3d6. I'm gonna pick from here, and then we'll have to sort out what they mean. And some of that we can use the context. So for instance, this one's got the rock nest. That might help and that might help determine the context for that. This one also has got the displacer beast. Maybe that will something like that. This one has the camp of the now we're calling orcs. Hey, Brian. They said Brian says they could be fungeons. Yes, they could be. All right, well, let's see what we get. So the first one, I'm just going to go from the starting at the. We'll just go. I guess we'll go in the columns. So starting with number 1 here. All right, I got. Where's my glasses here? I got 5, 6, 5. Well, finally got some high numbers. Yep, 5. No, 6, 6, 5. 6, 6, 5. So we've got. Let's go ahead and add a note here. We have a site, and it is. What kind of stuff we've got here? We've got 6 power. Ooh. Power, magic, and fear. Power, magic, and fear. Power, magic, and fear. Well, that's interesting. So power and magic kind of go together well. There's something there, but the theme is fear. So maybe there's something down there that's so it's a power site, right? All right. So it's let's see. We got water. So I'm gonna say I'm going to link it in with the water. So we're gonna say there's some kind of waterfall, some sort of falls. I don't know what that's called, waterfall. Some kind of waterfall, I think. Let's see. So okay, power, magic, and fear. So we'll just say right now. Let's just add something. So the waterfall makes passage along the river impossible. Oh, makes, I guess, makes north south passage along the river. Anyway, I'll just waterfall blocks. I don't know. The waterfall makes using river for transport impossible in this hex. So maybe behind the waterfall is, Vince says impassable. Thanks, Vince. Yes, impassable. That's true. Thanks. Yeah, because I don't want to make it that I guess what I'm trying to say makes I guess, yeah, impassable is a good word. Makes the river. Yeah. What I was trying to say is that you could, not necessarily that you can't pass through that way, but yes, if you're on the river, you have to get off, right? Boats. Okay, so I think that makes sense. I can edit later. So the waterfall makes the river impassable in this hex, and maybe behind the waterfall, or there's non-navigable. There you go. That's another good way. Yeah, non-navigable. Okay. So maybe, so now what is this site? So we got this waterfall here, and something to do with this waterfall has created the site that's magical, it's powerful in the realm of magic, but the theme is fear, something dark. Maybe there's a whirlpool at the base of the waterfall. Waterfall at base of the falls is a churning whirlpool. So we have a whirlpool at the base of this waterfall, and maybe this has some kind of magical, it's a power site. That this whirlpool, some kind of power site, but then the fear thing. The fear thing. So maybe that there's something kind of that if you can actually get to the bottom of the whirlpool. The whirlpool itself is supernatural. And it turns with a strength and violence beyond the energy that the falls provide. The let's see, the radius, the center of the whirlpool is dry, but center of the whirlpool is dry but obscured by mist from the falls. All right, so here we go. The waterfall makes the river impassable / non-navigable in this hex. At the base of the falls is a churning whirlpool. The whirlpool itself is supernatural, and it turns with a strength and violence beyond the energy that the falls provide. center of the whirlpool is dry but obscured by mist from the center of the whirlpool. Yeah, is open, I guess. Open, but obscured at the bottom. Let's see. Got to be some good distance. So maybe 40 or 50 feet down. The whirlpool is 40 feet deep at the bottom on a dry, at the bottom is a circle of dry ground upon which is an ancient stone altar of smooth stone. Is there a particular stone that's... Is there a stone that is... let me just say, I was just going to pull... Do we have a stone that's... Is there a stone that's... that's... water? I don't know if that's a thing. River stone, ceramic river rocks, river stone, natural stone rocks. No. Is there a type of stone? Any types of stones connected to rivers? I don't know. I don't know the word I'm looking for. 10 most common types of rocks. A water stone? Ooh, basalt. Basalt. Let's see. Typically, ranging of staining, the Columbia River basalts consist of 7 schist, granite. I'll say basalt. Basalt's a cool rock name. A water stone. Yeah, because I'm just trying to think of an actual type of smooth. There we go. Basalt. A whetstone. Haha, that's a good one, Brian. Very good. All right, the center. Yeah, the center of the whirlpool is skewered. The whirlpool is 40 feet deep. The column, I don't know what it'd be called. I'll figure that out later. The whirlpool is 40 feet deep, and at the bottom is a circle of dry ground upon which is an ancient stone altar. Is an ancient altar. Ancient basalt altar, worn smooth. Yeah, the column. Yeah, that's what I mean. Yeah. I could probably look up what the anatomy is, but so you can't really see it because it's spray and all kinds of spray and foam I'll call it spray and foam from the falls. So you got all this kind of, it's a fairly high. I guess I'd make it a pretty high falls. I don't know. I can roll to see how high and it's kernel stuff, but and in there's a kind of a swirl. But the idea would be here, right? That in this particular instance, that if you were to look at it kind of closely, you might notice if you were at this location mucking around, you might notice that there's this kind of really sort of violent whirlpool that, given that, none of us, myself included, are study rivers for a living, but I think you look at it and say, like, it doesn't quite match. It's not, the falls are not that high, and like the river's not that huge either, so why do you having this kind of really sort of spinning action going on? What's going on? So then if you do check it out, I don't know, and it's not, and here's the thing, which I love, is it's not up to me to figure out how you get down there. I don't know how you get down there. I don't know how you get some kind of suspension, or use, I guess if you're at a certain level, you get levitate, something like that. I don't know how you get down there, and I don't care. We could make some rules for maybe what happens if you hit the, because obviously the whirlpool's spinning you. It's not going to shoot you into, hard to break. You'd have to kind of almost on the wall. You'd have to punch through to get into the middle. And then of course it's 40 feet deep or something like that. So you don't want it, you're going to, drop is not going to be a lot of fun. 10-foot pole fishing. Yeah, something like that. So, and I'm thinking whatever you're going to do down there, you have to get the be at there. So we have this thing. So it's got, so we'll and I want to do a few of these, and I don't have a lot of time because I am kind of cramped for time in this spot. I'm sort of squeezing a stream in here, so I don't have a full like hour or something to do. So I don't want to get too caught up in one, but I figure we'll do this one and we'll see what happens. So just to kind of finish out the ideas here, we'll just say for the moment that water magic cast at the altar is more powerful. Is, I don't know. We can make up some numbers, but basically more powerful, both in effect, range, duration, in both. Something of that nature. Now we went to put, however, but there's some fear here. However, every time a spell is cast here, roll 1d6. On a 1, the caster is transported to the elemental plane of water. But here we go. On a 6, something from the elemental plane of water is transported to this location. All right. So we got a little. So we could do something, and I would probably make this pretty darn powerful. I haven't even thought about what spells they are, and if I had ideas I could think about. But you could think about, of course, depending on your edition spell system, be a great place to summon a water elemental, let's say, because you might be able to get it for a almost permanent. And I could come up with more. I think if this were part of a campaign, I could think about more. What does it mean by more powerful, right? I'm just trying to hash it out, right? Just kind of rough sketch it out. So if you cast water type magic here, it's much more powerful. But there's basically a 33% chance that something bad is going to happen. And one is that something from the elemental plane of water could be transported here. And again, we could create a table for that, figure it out, maybe a Hydra or something shows over here, or whatever. And then, of course, there's a 30% chance of something bad happening, 16% point whatever percent chance that you get shunted over to the plane of water, which is not going to be a lot of fun usually for you. Or on a 6, something gets over here. But if your need is great enough, and of course you may not know that, then you might decide to risk it. There's always, it's a risk reward type deal. All right, that's right. That's what we did. So then we got the waterfall. So that's cool. So we got something. All right, now let's do the next one, which will just go down the line to this one. And it kind of makes sense. It makes even more sense why there's maybe, because remember, this is this Arbor, the Arbor Conclave, and maybe this is kind of just a strong region of stuff in general, which is why they're here, which is why they came here. So I got 5, 1, 6. So I got favor, domain of life, and terror. All right, let's figure it out. Was something already here? Oh yeah, the Treant Woods. But there's also some kind of site. So we've got, what is it? So the site is, what did I say? I had favor. 1 is life, and 6 is terror. So favor, to me, somewhere where you would, I think the most obvious one, though it doesn't have to be this, where somewhere you make an offering. You make an offering, and that's what it's there for. And you could make offerings to all kinds of stuff, but that's what we're talking about. Now, 1, domain is life. Something to do with life, but then also the theme is terror. So maybe this domain is life and terror. Interesting. Well, I mean, these are all meant to be. Yeah, these are meant to be evocative and inspirational. They're, you know, you don't need to. We don't need to necessarily stick with them because it seems like life and terror. So what is he doing? An offering? Maybe you have to make the offering some kind of life, and that causes terror, or will it lift terror? What would be terror, or does it? All right. Well, let's. So some kind of offering. So we're here in this forest. So I'm gonna say it's some kind of grove. Let's see. I don't know. Do we have any ideas? What kind of plants? What do we got for plants? Do we have any? I don't know. Plants, mythical plants with mythical powers. Let's see. Golden apples. Man-eating plants. What's muthqui? Legendary plant. Two-headed serpent. Let's see. I don't know. I'm really more looking for plants with kind of mythological powers. So things like, yeah, mandrake would be a good one. Let's see the plants. What's the growth of the mandragora needs to be harvested by farmers. Usually draw 3 circles around. Okay, what does it do? Hallucinogenic and narcotic state of unconsciousness. Can relieve pains. Oh, here we go. Can treat melancholia, convulsions, and mania. Do I want them to? Vince asked if I want them to eat the thing in the grove. I mean, maybe. Maybe. I mean, I don't have any particular ideas. Is really the thing. I've got no preconceived notions, so I'm open to anything. So, but we're doing. I think one thing we got to keep in mind is. Hold on, let me just save that. Why it's thank you. Hold on, close. Wait, can I get my windows back? You know, you do something good. There we go. Okay, so we were doing close up here. All right, so we have a grove of mandrake, but you can't just pick them. Can't pick them. Before the mandrake can be picked. Hold on, a grove of mandrake. All right, let's see. So we're talking about an offering. All right, so let's just say before the mandrake of the grove can be harvested, an offering must be made equal to at least, let's see. I guess what are we doing? I guess what is the effect we're doing? Hold on a second. What is our effect? The effect is, I'm just going to try to get, we've got basic. Oh, I probably could have gone to expert, right? But this is okay. Do I have expert handy? I do. So let's see. If I go to spells, sorry, I'm just edging around to see everything. Treasure. Oh, I could have it equivalent to a. Maybe having equivalent equal to a magic item might work. Kind of a one-use magic item. Or should I do? Let's see. Should I do magic item or should I do spell? I guess spell might be easier. Well, so what I'm wondering is, do they have values? Because if they have magic, I don't think the magic items here have values attached to them. I think they are. Yeah. So, because I'm trying to figure out how big the offering needs to be, and I think if we determine what the spell is, then we could decide using the HD of the spell basically to determine at least get a round number for what that would be like. But with the magic item, it's different. So let's just go to spells. What kind of spells we have? First level magic. Let's go to clerical spells. All right. So remove curse. Remove curse, quest, insect plague, resist fire, speak with animal. Maybe remove curse. Protection from evil, 10-foot radius. All right, so that's a third. So we're going to round up. So we're going to say third, fourth level spell, which means I guess you have to be a fifth level cleric. Am I thinking of that correctly? If we're a fourth level spell, then that would be oh no, you don't get a fourth level spell until your 10th level. No, that's sorry. Yeah, no, sorry. You get your first. I'm just reading this. That's the number of first level spells. All right, so you get your first fourth level spell at 6th level. 25,000. So we'll divide it by 10. 2,500. Or maybe is that too much? You're doing one casting of a spell, a 10th. I don't know. We'll GP or HD equivalent. I think. All right, so if the offering is made, the mandrake can be harvested during the next full moon. So if the mandrake root is if a let's see. I'll just use potion right now, but it's not really a potion. Potion is made from the mandrake root. I'll just say 1d3 uses per harvest. Drinking the potion will affect the drinker as per. What spell we were going to go to? We were going to go to. What did we say? We said. So you could remove curse. As per the remove curse spell. If the mandrake is dried and burned, it will act as a protection from evil 10-foot radius spell. So Vince, yeah, so we'll have to get to that. So if the if no offering is if no offering is made, or an offering of insufficient value is made, the harvester. Yes. But what kind of curse should we do? So we could give them some kind of quest. What kind of quest? What kind of quest should they get? So the quest spell reads, the spell forces the character as cast to perform some special task or quest as commanded by the cleric at the time a spell is cast. Successful save versus spells will result in the spell having no effect. Typical task might include slaying a certain. Oh, I think maybe it would be quested to guard the grove for 1 year and 1 day. While on this quest, the questor cannot move more than 1 hex away from the grove. So the nice thing is here, there's a high-level cleric. The patriarch of the Arbor Conclave. Uh-oh.
This is a reminder. Get
Agnes. Let's see. Alexa, stop. All right, 5-minute warning. 5-minute warning. Just as things are getting good. Okay, so the patriarch of the Arbor Conclave is capable of removing this curse, but they will exact a toll for this, a service, a high price, potentially quest of their own for this service. So we got a nice connection here. So we got this one here, the waterfall, the magic around it, stuff at the bottom. We got this here. We got a grove of mandrake, and we could call it something else. I'm choosing kind of mandrake as a touchstone, just something to give us some inspiration. And this is kind of cool. You can go and you can pick there. And of course, it's in this guy's domain, and I'll probably extend his domain to cover at least this, probably this one too. Because I like that he's maybe in the center of this magic area, and he's kind of tasked with it. So he's aware of the grove. And if you go visit him, if you do things the right way, you go visit him, he probably would be happy to tell you, presuming you're a nice person, that you can how to get the mandrake safely. But if you just happen to stumble across it, you'll notice it. I think you would probably notice, and I do this in more detail, that it's cultivated. Remember, we have these kind of ent type guys running around here, the tree, what do I call them? Tree lords. So I'm sure it'll seem kind of tended, and that will happen. So cool. So let's do one more, and then let's see what we get. Now I may have to just jet, and we'll have to do it later, or we'll see. So we've got, all right, so we got a site. Let's go back to the hex stocking. Okay, and then we get, let's see, 326, or no, sorry, 226. So lore, death, and terror again. All right, so we have another site. Lore, death, terror. All right. So you can get lore here. I presume lore is where you can go to learn something. What it is you could learn. You know, you might a library could be a lore, but it could be an oracle. You could also look at as lore. Um, you know, death being the domain. Maybe you could learn about something that's died. You could learn. Yeah, learn. Let's see. We could learn something. So, what could we learn about? What is here? So maybe we'll say that we'll say this is the mound, the barrow of the patriarchs. And I'm gonna find another name for patriarchs. Basically, barrows of the patriarchs. A series of artificial mounds cover the burials of past patriarchs of the Arbor Collective. And I'm going to use a little Tolkienism. Tolkien has a cool thing in Rohan where there's a certain flower that only grows on top of the on top of the kings, the dead sort of royalty of Rohan, the leaders. So I'm gonna have something here. I don't know what they'll be. We'll say a certain flower only grows upon these mounds. The first patriarch buried within a central mound that is higher than the surrounding top mound is a ceramic offering bowl. Okay. And maybe I'll change that because I already have a offering thing over here. But anyway, so the barrows of the patriarchs, a series of artificial mounds cover the burials, cover the final, I guess, the resting places. Resting places of past patriarchs of the Arbor Collective. A certain flower only grows upon these mounds. The first patriarch is buried within a central mound that is higher than the surrounding. All right, so let's go back. So we saw there's the commune spell, which I saw. So maybe the commune spell would be good. Here we go. The commune spell. So this spell allows the player to ask 3 questions. Yep. So if a let's say I don't know, I'll call it a pilgrim for right now. 2 Central Mound spends a night in meditation upon its peak. At dawn, they will be able to communicate with the first patriarch as the commune spell. So where's the terror part? Well, going to be something. What kind of insect plague? I'm not sure what bad thing. Maybe if the tombs are messed with, violated. No. I need like a. Might need to go to a magic user spell just for what it could summon. Because I don't think anything's sufficiently nasty. Raise dead, commune, create food, spell evil. What are the magic user spells? What do we got? I want something good and nasty. Invisible Stalker. That's a good one, I think. We'll say for Invisible Stalker. Where is Invisible Stalker? Here we go. Okay. If any of the mounds are violated, on the dawn of the following day, invisible stalkers equal to the number of violators will be summoned with the singular order to kill the offending creatures. If any of the mounds are violated, on the dawn of the following day, invisible stalkers equal to the number of violators will be summoned with a singular order to kill the offending creatures. So yeah, you there's the terror part. So you probably want to leave those mounds alone. And we could get into, and it's beyond the scope of here, but we could, talk about maybe how that's signposted, or, are there warnings or what they say, because they don't want people to, these are not evil people. They're not trying to trick you into violating it. But at the same time, if you ask around, they'll say like, oh yeah, nothing really bothers up here. They maybe you could have something like animal tracks conspicuously. All the tracks conspicuously go around the base of the mounds and don't really go up. Maybe there's one's kind of stone, some stairs are cut. Might be kind of a fun thing. Was it this one? Nope. Was it this one? Maybe some stone stairs are cut into the side of the largest mound. Otherwise, tracks conspicuously follow the keep to the ground at the bases of the mounds. So cool. So, just as a sorry I'm so fast and kind of flighty, but that's the basic idea. Just to recap for folks who may have joined in late before I head off, I put together some of the stuff we've been working on into a hex stacking prototype, which you can download if you have bought the Joy of Hex Maps, or you got a community copy, however you got it, from either Itch or Drive-Through. I threw this prototype. It's a separate document. I have it one, and I have this one, and then a version in spreads. I already found a couple of things I'll have to fix, but I'm not gonna have a chance to fix them until later, so that'll have to wait a bit. And it's got the habitations we were doing for putting all these settlements and layers in there, and now I've got another one that creates some another piece of that first sites. So we created. I rolled a high number, so I might need to amend the number because maybe there'll only be a few in here. We'll see. But in any event, they don't all have to be. I kind of create some powerful ones. I think the other thing is they can be small. I would say, since we're going to be developing a bunch of these, then maybe some of these are kind of small things, but they might be important to the locals or to whomever happens to be there. So we happen to have a bunch, but I think we got very good things out of it. So we have, excuse me, we have this waterfall that's got a, if you go to it's got a whirlpool at the bottom of the waterfall. And if you're able to get dropped down to the center of the whirlpool, there's an altar there. And if you're casting water magic, it'll greatly improve your water magic, but there's a 33% chance something really terrible will happen. Half of that bad chance, either you get sent to the plane of water or something from the plane of water gets brought here. So maybe bad news, maybe not even worth it, but that's, it doesn't matter, right? This is not, to me, this is something that's there. The party can pass by it a million times, never notice it. They might notice it and say, boy, that's not worth it. Never going to do that. Or they might end up in a situation where they really need to. and in which case they're just gonna have to eat that chance or try to mitigate it with some other purposes. That's up to right. That's kind of up to them. Then we also came up with this one, which was a grove of some kind of. I picked mandrake, but it could be some other plant we make up. And if you pick the mandrake, if you do an offering, and it's a pretty substantial offering. I can change the numbers. I don't know if it's worth it or not. It's just going to depend on settings going to come into it. If you're in a setting where magic potions and things are ever present, then this is way too high. A lot of times the settings that I play in are pretty. You don't have people just handing out potions and things like that. You got to make them, find them, deal with them. So this might not be too bad. But in any case, you have to right. Then we have a cost of 2,500 gold pieces or HD equivalent. Maybe I'd make that 250. I don't know. We'll see. I mean, people got lots of gold, so who cares? But you can also do some kind of HD equivalent if you want to sacrifice things. It's nature. It's kind of neutral in that way. It doesn't care. If you make an offering, then under the next full moon, you can make 1d3 uses of, and I probably put here also 1d3 uses. Maybe +1, so you at least get 2. You can either make potions or some kind of liquor that will basically remove curses, or you can dry it and kind of burn it as some kind of incense type thing that will do a protection from evil 10-foot radius, and kind of as the spell. But that's just to kind of rough it out as a starting point. We could fix it up from there, and then finally the last one we did was this one, which is, since we have this area up here called the Arbor Collective, that's a kind of a cleric led settlement culture society. They've got where their leaders are buried is over here in some mounds. If you go up to one of the mounds, the central mound, and you sleep there at dawn, you'll get to commune with the first patriarch and ask them questions, basically per the commune spell. But if anybody were to violate these mounds, invisible stalkers are summoned who will try to murder you wherever you are in the world. So, kind of a fun thing you can do. Presumably, the current patriarchs probably go and do this every so often. Maybe there's even some rituals. Again, if we get to fleshing this out more, that's what we could talk about, something there. And then we got that. And then I think that's the last one. Did we? I don't think we did. What's this one? Did we do that one yet? No, we didn't. So maybe tomorrow or later on we'll go through and do more of these, but it was fun to kind of walk through this. I hope it shows kind of some of the usefulness of the I mean, obviously it's not a final thing yet, and once this is final, it'll get folded into the main Joy of Hex Maps document. But for now, I thought I could just keep it separate to not have to worry about paging and things, all that kind of nonsense. I could just kind of keep it separate. People can monkey with it or they can't. But I mean, with all these things, these are all about just sort of trying to help get you going, get kind of off that sort of blank map, blank page syndrome, get things moving. And then as you just keep building up context, you can just use that. And then if you have something in mind already, then just use that. But if you don't, then a couple of tools here and there to help sort of get you going, sort of prime the pump. And then, that's all kind of we've done on this little stream here, is just do that. And I think we came up with some interesting spots, and hopefully we'll be able to come up with more, but that's the idea. And now, folks, I got a jet, but thanks for hanging out. Enjoy the rest of your day, night, whenever you end up watching or listening to this. Game on, everybody. Bye now.